No one ever noticed the janitor. Not really. They saw the mop, the worn grey uniform, the quiet way he moved through the marble halls of Harrington and Coda Holdings, one of the most powerful real estate empires in the city. They heard the soft squeak of his shoes, smelled the faint disinfectant that followed him like a shadow, but they never saw him. Not until that morning. The boardroom on the 47th floor was buzzing with tension. Floor-to-ceiling glass windows revealed a city waking up beneath a pale gold sunrise. Around the long mahogany table sat lawyers in tailored suits, executives with tablets glowing in front of them, and at the head of it all, Victor Harrington, a self-made millionaire, ruthless, brilliant, feared. Victor leaned back in his leather chair, fingers steepled, a satisfied smile tugging at his lips. Today was supposed to be simple, a formality. His father's old partner had passed away, leaving behind complications. But Victor had already been assured by his legal team that everything was under control. The company was his. It always had been. That's when the door opened. A few heads turned, annoyed. The janitor stepped in quietly, pushing his cart, mid-40s, neatly trimmed beard, calm eyes. He paused when he realized the room was full. "I'm sorry," he said politely. "I'll come back later." Victor didn't even look up. "Do it quickly," he said, waving a dismissive hand. "This is important." The janitor nodded and moved toward the corner, emptying a trash bin. Papers rustled. The air hummed with restrained impatience. Then the lead attorney cleared his throat. "Mr. Harrington," he said carefully, "there is one final matter before we proceed with the transfer." Victor smirked. "If this is about sentimental clauses or charity nonsense, skip it." The attorney hesitated. "There is an individual who must be present." Victor frowned. "Present? For what?" Before the lawyer could answer, a calm voice spoke from the corner. "I believe that would be me." The room froze. Every head turned. The janitor stood upright now, hands resting lightly on the handle of his cart. His posture had changed, subtle but unmistakable. The nervous shuffle was gone. In its place was quiet confidence. Victor laughed, a sharp, mocking sound. "You," he said, finally looking directly at him. "You're in the wrong room, buddy." A few executives chuckled nervously. The janitor didn't react. "My name is Daniel Cross," he said evenly, "and I'm here regarding the ownership of Harrington and Co." The laughter grew louder. Victor leaned forward, eyes glinting with amusement. "This is a board meeting, not a job interview. Who let him in?" Security shifted near the door. Daniel reached into his pocket. Not hurried, not dramatic. He pulled out a folded document and placed it gently on the table. The attorney swallowed hard. Victor raised an eyebrow. "What's that supposed to be?" Daniel met his gaze. "My appointment letter," he said. "And the final signature your father placed before he died." The room went silent. Victor scoffed. "My father was sick, confused. He didn't sign anything without my knowledge." The attorney slowly slid the document toward Victor. "With respect, sir," he said, voice tight, "this signature has already been verified." Victor grabbed the paper. His smile faded. Because the signature at the bottom of the page wasn't shaky. It wasn't uncertain. It was bold, clear. "Edgar Harrington." Victor's fingers tightened. "This is fake," he snapped. Daniel shook his head. "It isn't." Victor stood abruptly, chair scraping loudly against the floor. "You expect us to believe a janitor owns my company?" Daniel's eyes didn't flinch. "I didn't say I owned it," he replied. "I said I'm the new owner." The laughter didn't come this time. Victor's face flushed. "This is a joke." Daniel took a slow breath. "Your father hired me 10 years ago. Not as a janitor." The attorney nodded grimly. "As a silent partner?" he added. Murmurs rippled through the room. Victor's voice cracked. "That's impossible." Daniel stepped closer to the table. "Your father believed character mattered more than blood," he said quietly. "He believed the company needed someone who understood the ground level before sitting at the top." Victor's hands trembled as he reread the signature. For the first time in his life, he felt the floor shift beneath him. And that's when Daniel said the words that would change everything. "Sir," he said calmly, "this meeting is now under my authority. If this story hooked you so far, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because Chapter 2 reveals why Edgar Harrington trusted a man everyone ignored, and how Victor's laughter turns into desperation. The room felt smaller now, not because the walls had moved, but because power had. Victor Harrington stood frozen at the head of the table, the paper clenched in his hand like it might burn him alive. The name at the bottom of the document stared back at him, unblinking, undeniable. His father's signature, real final. For the first time since Victor Harrington had taken his first breath of privilege, he didn't know what to say. Around the table, executives avoided eye contact. Lawyers shifted uncomfortably. The same people who once laughed with Victor now looked at Daniel Cross, the janitor, with a mix of awe and fear. Daniel calmly pulled out a chair and sat down, not at the edge of the table, but at the head. Victor snapped back to life. "You don't get to sit there," he barked. Daniel looked up slowly. "I already am." The lead attorney cleared his throat. "Mr. Cross, as per the final will and controlling agreement signed by Edgar Harrington, you are the majority shareholder, effective immediately." The words echoed like a gunshot. Victor slammed the table. "You expect me to believe my father handed his life's work to a man who cleans toilets?" Daniel didn't raise his voice. He didn't smile. Instead, he reached into his bag and pulled out something unexpected. A worn leather notebook. "I met your father 22 years ago," Daniel said. "Before the skyscrapers. Before the headlines. Before the money." Victor scoffed. "You're lying." Daniel opened the notebook. Inside were dates, numbers, handwritten plans, early land purchases, failed investments, lessons learned. "This," Daniel said softly, "is the foundation of Harrington and Co." The attorney nodded. "We've confirmed it. These entries match the earliest internal records that were never public." Victor staggered back into his chair. Daniel continued. "Your father and I built this company together. I invested first. I lost first. I slept in my car while he slept in offices. When success came, he wanted the spotlight. I didn't." Victor shook his head. "Then why disappear?" Daniel's voice lowered. "Because your father begged me to." The room went silent. "He said you needed to grow up believing power was permanent," Daniel said. "He wanted to see who you would become when no one could take it from you."